Lost Ark has an RMT problem with Asmongold. I think it's Stoops that he's listening to. Yeah, Stoops. I would say, obviously, I mean, that's not even really something people don't know about. I would assume it's one of the most pay-to-win games out there. So, I like saying Genshin has a gacha problem. You know what I mean?
Have I seen this? What the?
That's not that impressive. Being 1582 item level right now, because like all you really had to do, like leveling up.
I'll be honest. I only got to like 1400-ish, and that's about maybe not even that. I think only 13 before like realizing it was just like crazy grindy and just gave up.
And getting to plus 20.
Like I did what I wanted to do, which was like the islands and stuff.
Than getting to plus 25 with the previous relic gear.
So
it is. It's way easier.
Oh,
I think
actually, my little icon is like
1575 before.
Let's
is
move
more
that.
Impressive than seeing somebody who's 1590 right now.
Here, I guess.
Comparatively easier.
Holy shit.
That works, I guess.
Holy shit, man.
I mean, I'm blocking his chat, but to be fair,
tired of you guys making the assumption that everybody RMTs that like
Asmon usually will grab the anything interesting from the chat.
99.99999% of them do.
You literally can spend $1,000 a day in the game. Yeah, they could be.
Oh, he's saying that they don't. Okay, so we are including, like, in my opinion, guys, I'm gonna be totally honest. If you're buying gold from G2G, it's the exact fucking same to me as if you're buying gold on the store.
Exactly. There's no difference.
That's
One
all.
can get you banned, the other won't.
It's whatever.
It's only different from the
Stoops might not know
game developers end, I suppose.
$1,000 a day anymore. They lowered that cap after people were spending too much money, and now the cap is you can only spend $400 a day. So like whenever there's lapses in content, you've got to make sure you spend that $400 every day, so that way whenever new content comes
That's crazy. $400 a day, man.
But you're just making a random assumption.
It's just crazy.
To like run this weird agenda. I'm so tired of that. Like,
I mean, if you can afford that, why not just pay for someone to build a game for you at that point, you know?
True. There was this one guy I saw, and he said that he had 10 gun lancers, and every single one of his gems was level 10. And
that sounds boring.
His level was like 240 or something fucking stupid like that. Yeah, no,
that's a lot of grinding on ults.
Now,
doing the same thing, like I don't know
if somebody is an RMT or not. If this person has a roster level of 73, if they have a roster level
that makes
of 73, I bet they're RMTing.
Yeah, because and what he's talking about with roster level, that's like with your ults or your alternate characters. Like, so if like you're not farming on your ults to funnel to your main, but you're still having really high item level, it's almost a guarantee you're doing RMT. Whether through Lost Ark system or outside of its system, it's like doesn't really matter.
Isn't it? That's not how it is anymore. You don't have to be giga rich either to have a max eye level character. You don't think I could juice the fuck out of a character, man? Like, you don't have to be giga rich either. Like,
I think that as somebody,
I mean, the thing is with like Stoops and other players like them, from what I remember back when the game first came out, at least here in the West, you don't have to if you play the system and you really take advantage of your knowledge of the game prior to release. But I think if he were to try to do it like in the Korean one, where he like trying to go for the max, like the highest item level, like I just don't see that being possible.
Who is aware of these things?
I mean, high item level, but not like the highest.
The amount that it would take you pre-Brelshaza gear.
My cat's joining me here. What are you doing? I'm trying to get my water.
Leveling all of that up to 1575, I think it would be around 20 grand.
What you doing?
Like, give or take.
Wait,
obviously, like, you know.
How much did he say?
Up the amount that it would take you pre-Brelshaza gear. Like, this is just leveling up the Clown gear and the Vicus and Vulcan gear leveling all of that up to 1575, I think it would be around 20 grand.
What the hell?
Like, give or take. Obviously, like, you know, 5K.
Dude, that's crazy.
Can we run it back on the RMT debate? I really think you're wrong, Yasso. I feel like I really think
What are you
that
doing?
somebody's high eye level, it's a bad mentality to assume that everyone buys from G2G at a high item level. Especially like
Well, bad mentality. I don't think it's a bad mentality because it's like it is what it
now,
is.
dude. Do you know how much money you would have had to invest in your account? Like, I don't think that, dude. I think when the game first came out and people were 1575 the first month, I was like, yeah,
Absolutely.
but you can literally spend $1,000 a day. Like
400. It's only 400.
that's so much money. You could get jacked in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I think.
What's crazy is he's talking as if like 2-3 weeks, but that's if you're dropping 400 a day. I mean, he's saying 1,000, so you're probably looking at like double that. So 6 weeks of dropping 400 a day that's insane. It's so crazy.
That's probably true. Like, because you take 400 times 3, and how much is that? That is $12,000. So you could spend $12,000.
Yeah, but Asman, he was just talking like as if it was $1,000 cap. So like that's not even the right math.
In just 3 weeks.
Like that isn't so crazy, man. Like I don't know how people could get into like people who make fun of Genshin fans. Like honestly, Genshin fans have nothing on freaking Lost Ark.
I think is
Because you dropped 12 grand on like Genshin. Like I don't even know how that's possible. You definitely would have. I think before you even hit 10 grand, you'd unlock pretty much everything, right? And it's like not even needed to do the stuff. Like unlike Lost Ark, which you do need that item level, Genshin, like you don't need to do any of that. Like you can play the game completely free to play.
my honest opinion.
Sorry.
And be about the same. Of course, you can do the same with Lost Ark, but in terms of like your power level, like Genshin, yes, you will be stronger than someone who plays free to play, but you won't be like 10 times stronger. You know what I mean? Maybe you'll be twice as strong, maybe 3 times at most, I would guess, unless things have really changed since I played it. But I remember I dropped like maybe 100, and that's all I needed, like to down like the hardest content in the game. And I didn't even need to drop it. I just saved time really to get better characters. But yeah, but Lost Ark, there's no way. Like if I dropped 100 in Lost Ark, that'd be a drop in the bucket to do the hardest content in the game.
Sorry. Let me just do count. Okay, so you can spend $400 a day times 7. That's 7 days a week times 3. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wrong. You could only spend $8,000. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only $8,000, guys.
Only 8,000.
You want to know
crazy.
my honest opinion?
Even if you have the money, like why would you waste it like that?
And I think that they just project.
Like think of any other hobby that would cost you $400 a day. Like that's like renting out like really high-end hotel rooms and then trashing them like on a weekly basis.
They're RMTing on other.
Am I the only person who doesn't give a fuck whether somebody buys from a store or G2G?
It's the same thing. They're putting money towards their character's power, which is, I don't know, like I don't really care too much about it in general, but it's like I don't take those games as like I don't see any kind of world first seriously. Like it doesn't matter. You pay, most of them probably paid to get there. Like the highest characters are like, you know what I mean? Like it's just the competition of the game immediately dies when you introduce pay to win.
Like,
imagine if you could do that in League of Legends. You could pay to like get levels in the match.
Gold with real money. It feeds the bots. Well, whose problem is that? Now it's your problem that you're feeding the bots. How about the people that can ban the bots? I think it's
exactly. The bots issue is the developer end. It's nothing to do with the player.
Like, why are you blaming the players for spending less money on something whenever it's actually the developer
like Maple Story used to be really, 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 really bad with bots. But last time I played it, which was like a year ago or a couple of like 6 months ago, maybe. Um, I don't know what they did, but they took a like the biggest ban hammer I've ever seen to them. I didn't run into a single one, and I played it like crazy. And back in the day, like you couldn't go like 2 maps without running into bots.
That should be banning the bots in the first place. Of course people are going to go, yeah, you're part of the problem. Everybody playing the game is part of the problem to an extent.
Yeah, because if no one played, the bots wouldn't have anyone to sell the stuff to. So,
like, if you're buying gold at all, you're part of the problem. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Because here's the thing with like, say they took away the RMT and they only had the in-game store, you'd still have a crazy ton of bots who would put stuff in the auction house trying to make gold off that auction house and then selling that, like the stuff you can buy from the gold. Like the bots are gonna be there no matter what.
Who cares? It's
People.
And if I sound like messed up here and there, I am sorry. Like my throat is still killing me, so
That's what I really think. I think
that's why I haven't streamed too much either.
And then they just project their RMTing on other people, dude. That's what I really think. I think a lot of you guys RMT, and you just project.
I don't think it matters. Like, who cares?
You know what I mean? That's what I really feel like, man. Because I'll tell you right now, dude. If I was gonna get to 1590, and I knew that I was to spend all that money at the risk of losing my account, I would never do it. You know, but if I'm just buying like a little necklace here and there, they'll never know.
Yeah, but it's like, how strict are they, or how good are their detections for RMT when you can just buy gold off of the thing? And like, it just feels like they wouldn't have that many good systems in place to catch people who buy RMT when people are, you know, you can just buy it off of the store itself. So I don't know. I could be wrong in it, but it's like if they're doing such a crap job with the bots, I have a feeling their other detection systems aren't going to be that good. Other than like actual hacking.
Oh, you know, I'll just buy a little necklace, bro. I'll just buy one level 10 gem. People do it all the time, right?
This is what a lot of the RMTers did whenever Lost Ark first came out. Is that they were all 1490, which was like max item level, but they never left their stronghold. Because everybody, it's like if you see somebody who is 1490 item
You're
level,
gonna get reported.
You know they're a fucking, they're an RMTer. So they were hiding out in their stronghold for like months before any of them ever came out.
That's what I actually feel like. They'll never.
Not all of them, but those
right?
the ones I didn't got banned.
80% of the top. Oh, you know, I agree. I think a lot of people RMT'd at the start, but I think just assuming everybody RMTing today that has high eye level just because they have high eye level is also fried. Like, yeah, I don't think that's true. Like, I don't think if you have full level 10
does it matter? Like, I don't really see a point of the argument.
I don't think so. My point is super
like
fair.
whether you say yes or no, it doesn't matter.
High item level RMTs. I'm like, I don't even know this motherfucker. What do I have to defend him? I just think that's what it is. Like, I think a lot of people.
The reason why I don't think everybody who has high item level RMTs is because everything has gone down so much in price. Like, if I wanted to get up to 1590 item level, I think that it would cost me probably $4,000 to $7,000, somewhere around there.
A little less than the original projection, so it's I guess good. Sounds like it's half.
No, I think it would cost more than that. Yeah, it's because of inflation, and also there are so many more resources being put into the economy now that the prices have gone down so much.
Are more likely
that makes sense.
To RMT, like,
I don't think we'll ever go back to Lost Ark. Like, to be honest,
for their character,
like I know they updated the graphics for some stuff. It's like that's not even close to enough for me to go back. This is the core
at this point in the game,
loot grind that I'm not a fan of.
Stoops is right about this, that there are a lot of people that RMT in Lost Ark, and they're just they're only RMTing small amounts, so Amazon doesn't ban them.
Way more likely.
That makes sense.
Think about it. I could spend $100 and get my
That, and you have to, like, most people who play Lost Ark understand the system. Like, they're not idiots. So it's like, of course, if they can spend $10 to get something that would normally cost them like 50 in the actual in-game store, and you know they're not even playing the game like super hardcore, like they're just trying to have fun, more than likely they're willing to take that chance, because it's just like, what are the odds they're going to catch you for a $10 purchase
character's full set. That's way
or a
more
$50
likely
purchase
than
compared
somebody
to like
spending
the
thousands of dollars to risk
yeah
getting
thousands of
banned
dollars that
at
other
high
players
level.
do.
It's so much more likely, bro. It's like the same thing with anything else in life. Like, to get that far, it's more unlikely to me, right, as someone that could do it, that I would risk getting banned versus just going, all right, I'm gonna buy this one set of grudge books. I think that's way more likely that anyone can afford and anyone can do. You're definitely defending them? No, dude. You just have no. Yasuo, you're tripping. I'm not defending them. I'm saying that assuming everyone RMTs is for me is dumb. Like, that's just what I think it is. I think I'm defending that point, not this character,
Yeah.
man. Look who's defending them. No, I'm defending the point of assuming things about people. That's what I'm defending. If you don't agree with that,
Am I the only person that, like, I don't think this is a big deal one way or another?
Yeah, whether you assume people are doing it or not doesn't do anything, doesn't change anything.
I still don't see it being. I don't hold anything against people that RMT in Lost Ark.
Me either, when I
Nothing.
saw them playing, but it's
Because
I wasn't
all you're
competitive about
doing
it.
Is you're just going to a better price point.
you're fried.
You're okay with RMT and WoW? Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, because of the token. Like, if you took away the token, then yeah, obviously, like, RMT is now, like, basically when the developers are doing the RMT, it's like, okay, well then, F you. You know what I mean? Like, why shouldn't you go somewhere else?
Who gives a fuck? You can buy gold anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Like, yeah, you can already buy gold. I mean, like, fuck.
We can agree to disagree, but if you think assuming everybody RMTs is good behavior, you're fried. It's not good. You're accusing people of things that you don't know about. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but accusing him is wrong. Do you think the solution for RMT?
Accusing him is wrong. I don't think so. I mean, he plays Lost Ark, he has a high item level. I mean, you should be assumed to be RMT. Like, if I was really into the game, even if I didn't RMT, like, and I got my item level really high, I don't know if this is high, I'm assuming so. Like, I would just, like, people would, like, in my head, I'd be like, okay, people think RMT. Now, it'd be different if they reported me. That's a whole different story. But, like, I would just assume that everyone thought I RMT'd, even though maybe I just got lucky or just did, like, an ungodly amount of grinding.
Problem could be to remove the current conversion system and give better rates. I think
Or a combination of the two, you know?
There's always going to be RMT because botters will always have better rates than the game. You can buy WoW Gold for cheap.
That's not true. I mean, it is true, but it's not, like, always to be true. You got to remember, developers are the gods of that world. They could literally make... The biggest problem is that they don't want everyone's money to just be worthless that they farm normally, and that's what really stops game developers from just selling, like I think it was, what, on my server, 200k for $20 for WoW token, but they could easily make that 2 billion. Like, it's just a number they can just put in. Maybe not 2 billion because I think there's a cap, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no real limit to what they can do. They can make 200,000 for $2.
Cheaper than tokens now.
Always do that. I think people always do that.
It's just with bots, you gotta remember, it's not an actual person usually behind those bots. It's usually like a program, and it's multiple programs running at the same time with multiple characters, you know, running that same program. So it's like not a person. So any money they can build off of it is income usually. So that's why they are able to lower it beyond what the developers usually do.
If people did it, they're always going to buy cheaper gold, and they're always going to lower the price to be cheaper gold. But I don't think that it's... Yeah, I just think it's bad behavior to assume everybody is fucking cheating. I think it's bad. Go to Maxwell calculation. You need 8 million gold worth of mats in 900k only upgrade cost and 120 million silver, high on Copian that's not thinking that's a rich motherfucker who plays Lost Ark. Well, we all know he's rich. The argument isn't that he's...
We all know that he's rich. How is that not an argument then? That he RMTs? Oh, I mean, he's not counting like in-store purchases. Okay, I think I know what he's...
I think what people are getting mad at Stoops for is Stoops is saying that this... People think that what Stoops is saying is that this guy didn't spend any real money. And I think that this person probably spent real money.
100%.
But the difference is that he's saying, Stoops is saying that the person spent it through the store
exactly,
and not through a website.
Like, hey, here's another example. What about...
I mean, I also got confused, even though like I kind of understood it. So I understand why his chat is like...
What the fuck's going on, huh?
All right. Tell me right now how that's a bad example.
You're using a bad example because you're not actually giving an example of the people that would use G2G.
I just gave you an example.
Youth and pawns
No.
are
I gave you an
Let me cook. Let me cook.
Okay,
I let you cook
okay.
on stream. Now let me cook.
Okay, cook.
All right.
Cook.
He let him cook on stream. I mean, no, you didn't let him. I mean, he was streaming, but okay.
So Youth Chisimo and Pawns are not the G2G Andes. They have millions of dollars. They're fucking chilling out on a yacht with 8 naked ladies, bro.
Thank God.
We gotta be talking about the regular Andes,
how
the
do you know
gamer
this guy's
Andes.
not a
We're talking about, let me talk. Let me fucking cook
Okay,
this.
all right, cook.
God damn it.
Okay, cook. But I should be able to. Like, challenge something that you're saying.
Okay.
You can challenge it once I'm done with my point.
Okay.
But my point is just
Oh, I hate people like
those
that.
two gentlemen that you used as an example are not the G2G Andes. The G2G Andes...
I mean, I understand like getting your point across first, but at the same time, if you have multiple points in that arc, like you should be able to like, hey, wait, you're wrong on this point.
are the people that have been literally banned for RMT and do sus shit on stream.
All right. So let's just go back to your first point. Okay.
Alright, let's go back to
All right.
I
See
don't
what I
even
mean?
know what this is.
How do you know that guy that I just showed you is not chilling on a yacht with a bunch of ladies?
the 15
Yeah,
15
that's what we're talking. I'm not talking about the first week. I was talking about this guy. How do you know that?
because there isn't plausible cause that they have the money to say that they're doing other things. Like you said, Ponce and Yushi
Well,
Small.
I mean, you can't have like a background check for every single like.
That's the
I
dumbest
don't know if
argument
that
I've
would
ever
work,
heard.
Right? If you queue up with Belshaza, you have to also include your last 3 years of tax returns. I mean, like, damn, that sounds like a. I mean, bro, it's already too hard to get supports now. Like, I don't want to have that. That's too much work, man.
Are 0.1% on gifted meters. So there's plausible cause to say that they have money outside of
there
this.
isn't plausible cause also that guy is just chilling in his room like a gremlin and G2Ging.
I don't even see why this is a conversation.
There's none. That's my point. You have no evidence either way. And I gave you an example. Hold on. Let me cook now. Let me cook.
Alright,
And
cook it up.
it's way more likely that,
that like
the
a
guy
Korean
that
thing?
works a 9-to-5 job that has $50 at
It is what this is what I think is true. It is much more likely for a person with less disposable income to use G2G. Because for them, it is more important to get the maximum return for their money versus somebody who has a ridiculous amount of money.
Because if they had a ridiculous amount, they didn't need to gamble to get their account deleted.
And they won't even notice it.
the end of the week goes,
I mean, some of them are going to do it anyways, but
$50 in Lost Ark and buy a skin, or I can spend $50 and get a level 10 gem. That's way more likely, but we don't talk about that guy. The only people that we talk about that RMT are the big beluga whales at 1580. But
Yeah,
all
because
the
they're the most
motherfuckers in the
interesting.
chat that want one level 10 gem, or they want that
Yeah, there was like this one guy in chat. I saw this a minute ago. He was like, "Yeah, me and my friends all came back to Lost Ark, and we spent $200, and we're 1,500, and 5x 3 level engravings. 5x3. Yeah, for $200.
one accessory, it's way more likely that they use their hard-earned paycheck and try to get a little bit of value out of it, but nobody notices them or talks about them. Right? You don't talk about them. There's no cause because it's so you just don't even know.
That's probably true. I would say that the majority of RMT is actually from smaller amounts, but way more people.
yep.
That's it. That's
if they're
a
fucking
fact.
hiding in the shadows, how the fuck am I supposed to talk about it? What the hell kind of
That's
point
my
is that?
point. That's
If
my
they're lying
point.
in the
You
shadows.
only accuse people. That's the whole.
So then-
we're
so
talking
then-
about two different things. You're saying I'm dick riding and defending, but all I'm saying is you have no assumption. But, it's more likely that it's like when you want to buy a little bag of weed at the end of the week, right? You spend $20. You'd rather where would you go buy it from? If you have $20, right? You don't have a lot of money. Right? You have $20. You can get a gram for $20, or you can get an eighth for $20. Where are you gonna get it from?
Eighth for $20.
I'm just saying, where are you gonna get it from?
I
You're
don't know why
buying
you
it
use
at the
weed.
end.
I mean, you could.
You probably would get there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
my
guess because it's a
point,
controlled
bro.
substance.
Okay,
I see
it's
what
the
he's saying.
same shit. Like, you don't have to be a giga whale to RMT. You could be RMT for a little bit of.
But he could have used almost anything else. Like, if you need underwear and you don't have a lot of money, like you're gonna go, like, with the high end stuff, like designer brand or just like the Walmart brand.
An amount. Everyone just assumes that somebody's fucking fat eye level they're G2Ging. That's
So-
cap. If
I would say that most people that are incredibly high item level are probably RMTing. I think that the difference right now is if somebody also has full level 10 gems or like 7 or 8 level 10 gems and they're also 1580 item level, I think that they might be RMTing.
Yeah, but the
I
argument
think
is
that could
like-
be a good. There's a good chance of that.
assumed anybody with a max eye level weapon early on, or Snowy who just got a fuckload of gems out of nowhere and a 25
I mean,
weapon.
I think those are kind of safe. I mean, if it was like a progressive at
I'm
this
just
point,
saying if I assumed.
at this point, I will 100% agree that if you see somebody with full level 10 gems, there is a chance that they've
There
just
it
been
is.
swiping
Okay,
through
fair
the game.
point, we're done
But
then.
I'm speaking
okay.
at the start of the game is
Okay,
what I'm
that's,
saying.
I wasn't
And the
talking
people
about
that were
that.
up-
I
You were talking about
no,
this is the
no,
same people
go
that use
watch the
the
VOD.
RMT.
If
This
I
is the
listen,
steroids.
if
This
I
is the steroids example.
if
Can I
I
give you the
find
steroid
if
example?
I find the clip, you have to take. If I find a clip at the end of my stream, you have to take fucking fat, like 5 Benjamin cities to the dome
Holy
on camera. I literally said at the start of the game I would agree, but now we're so deep into the game that you can't assume.
Yeah.
That's
But once-
fair.
It's the steroid example. Did you understand the steroid example that I gave earlier?
Okay, I'm not saying that this guy's
Once
natty.
an
All
RMTer,
I'm
once
saying
an
is you
RMTer
can't
is
assume.
always an RMTer, bro.
But how do you know he's always an RMTer? You don't know.
You don't. It doesn't have to.
No, I think that there are some people that took a 6-month for RMT and they'll probably never RMT again.
Consistently be
Yeah, once an RMT or an RMT is just dumb. I mean, obviously, other than like you RMT'd, so therefore you've RMT'd. Like, there's no change in it. You can't undo an RMT unless you like just delete the stuff. So maybe that's what he's talking about. But it's like there have been plenty of times where I've RMT'd on some games. I can't recall which ones. I think Maple Story, like way back in the day. It was only like $20 or something. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but like I don't do it at most of the time. It was just, yeah, I was just didn't feel like grinding, I guess. I don't remember exactly what happened back then. I just know I did it. So
RMT, but if you did it once, you're now
How do you
labeled
know
as an
he did
RMT.
it once? How do you know he did it once?
Because the obvious evidence at the start of the game when they
This
were,
kid,
bro,
what
you gonna
evidence? We have a picture of Ryan on the screen. What evidence do we have? I just have a picture. You don't even know who he is. It's just a random picture, man. What evidence, man?
we're not
Yeah.
talking about this guy anymore.
yeah, this is Yasuo, whoever he is. Like, this dude's just like literally his own world. Like, he created a story on his own, didn't tell anyone about it, and now is arguing for that story.
But that was the point of the conversation. That was it. This is
Like
all we
that-
have.
I can see why Stoops is like going crazy because it's like literally you're talking to the Mad Hatter.
Conversation has evolved. Okay, we've gone places with this conversation.
Okay.
This is the point
I'm
of the
tired of this.
conversation,
I'm
man.
tired of this conversation, man. I'm out of here, man.
I love you. All right,
Have a good stream, man. Love you, man.
Okay. All right. Let me let you guys know what the real truth is on all this
Holy
fucking
shit.
RMT thing with Lost Ark, since
I love
apparently nobody can fucking understand it. It is Amazon Games and only Amazon Games that are responsible for RMT.
Exactly.
They are God. If they ban somebody, they're banned. If they want to delete their gold is deleted. They
Yep.
can do anything that they want in regards to banning and not banning different players for RMT. Functionally, I see no difference in terms of the ethics of buying gold from a random website and buying gold from the developer or through the store.
Yep.
I
Same
don't
thing.
really care. Yes, one of them emphasizes and promotes more bots than the other.
I don't even think that's true. One emphasizes more bots because it's like, how do you know that all those gold sellers are bots as well? More than likely they are. But there are some people who just are very, very efficient at farming gold. So that could be them. Like, to me, it's like the thing that promotes botting is lack of bans. That is the number one promotion of bots. It's not really people spending money in the game. Obviously, that will, be a thing of it. But like the number one, because even if you took away that, you'd see people selling accounts, max level accounts, because they would bot that account and then sell the account.
The one that's absolutely
Which is what was pretty popular for a while.
Harmful to the game. That's absolutely true. But at the end of the fucking day, it's Amazon's job to ban the bots, not the players.
Yep.
So I don't give a fuck. That's what I think at the end of the day. Yeah, it's Amazon games are the ones that are responsible for bots. If you're going to go around and blame the players for that, I think that, again, you're letting them get off way too easy. That's a fact. Let me link it for you guys. There you go. I'll read a few of the comments and I'll move on.
Like, that's basically you're blaming people addicted to drugs versus like the dealers like selling the drugs.
Try to tackle the dark side of the Lost Ark player base. Be nice to see.
I mean, obviously they do have culpability. Like, is that the right word? Anyways, they do have like some responsibility there, but it's mostly the drug dealers.
Someone dedicate time to uncovering and unraveling scams, bot abuse, and of course RMT. But the fact there's RMTs Lost Ark evidence by bots and polls on streams at 25% lets these people ridiculously high item levels and low roster level assume they've got gold from illegitimate sources. Unfortunately, you can't say 100% certainty. What's more likely is spending $100 on some shady title, putting $1,000 into the game every day. Yeah, of course. Agree with Stoops 100%. We're almost a year in. High item level and gems no longer means RMT. Yes, I think that in most cases it does not, but I think the majority, yes, it does. Yeah, 1490 to 1590 with Brel gear is 6 million gold. Well, that's not that much. Yeah, I agree with Stoops. Is a problem. Sometimes the falsely bans do occur. Yeah, false bans occur, but sometimes false bans don't occur, and actual bans should occur more often. That's what I think. RMTing is cheaper than paying on the in-game store. They barely give you any gold for $100. Exactly. So people are going to RMT. I mean,
like if I went back to Lost Ark, I probably would RMT, but that's one of the reasons why I won't go back, because it's like I feel like I would have to. That's not the kind of game I want to play.
Population is bots fueling RMT. It's 100% reasonable for people to assume people have spent insane amounts of gold are RMTing. Let's see where Lost Ark is, okay?
Their bot problem is like one of the worst.
Okay, look in new window.
I don't know if it's changed, but
I have it right
here. I
looked it up so many times. So the peak player base here was 322. It went down to 263. So there's probably at least like 120,000 people playing the game. Somewhere around there if you multiply this differential by 2. So yeah, it probably actually is 200
plus
there is
1,000
a good
bots.
Chance that 2/3 of the player base are bots.
Yep. And that's all on Amazon.
That's a lot of bots. I'm going to be honest. Do we blame the addict or the drug dealer or both? I'm not saying that you shouldn't get banned for RMT, but I do not care on a personal ethical level because I think that it's the same thing. As I've always said, never hate the player, only hate the game. People will respond to the stimulus that you give them. And if you provide an incentive for people to spend real money and not get banned for it, then they will do it. You can't give people an incentive to do something that's bad and then be surprised whenever they're doing something that's bad. That's just the way the world works, even if people don't like to admit it. That's what I think.
It's like the whole crypto thing. Like, and why it got so popular with a lot of people is that you can make a lot of money and not even get in trouble for it and scam a bunch of people. Like, that's legit it. There's incentive to like do those scams, unfortunately. And so a lot of people have done it. So Lost Ark has an RMT problem. Yeah, I think it was obvious. I think anyone who had ever played the game would know that. So yeah, it is sad when he brought up those bot numbers. Like, I guess it got even worse. I remember back when I played, it was only like 30%, but now it's at like what, 70, 60%. That's freaking crazy.